A national study on corporate giving shows businesses here were more generous despite the pandemic. Corporate giving went up in 2021 by 15%. That's according to the National Volunteer and Philanthropy Centre. Now, businesses were also more creative, giving donations in kind and also volunteering their time. Now, to take us through this, we have Lenard Pattiselanno. He's Director of Outreach and Partnerships at NVPC. Good evening, Lenard. Thank you for joining us. Lenard, we understand that this study was delayed, but starting later, you've been able to capture the impact that COVID-19 has had on corporate giving. Tell us about the motivation behind the study.
Thank you very much, Dawn. It's a pleasure to be here. Well, the corporate giving study is a study to understand the state of corporate giving in Singapore, including the level of giving, motivations, strategies, and practices. And we felt that it was important to be able to capture the data during the period of the pandemic, because it can help really inform the various stakeholders with the design of the policies, strategies, and programs. And it will help us in terms of identifying priority areas, different types of motivations, different mental models, and so on.
Yes, and certainly everybody thought about their priorities and reprioritized a great deal because of this pandemic. It threw up so much complexity. Are you surprised at all that COVID-19 didn't affect more corporate giving and that we even saw some sectors being more generous?
To a certain extent, yes. I think we cannot take for granted what a difficult time it has been for business. But despite all the challenges, it is really heartening to see how many businesses have adapted. They've tried diversified ways of giving. They've broadened their perspectives to the way that it can help society. And we've also seen volunteering numbers go up. So that's very encouraging. We know that if the median philanthropy numbers do continue to drop, it can be a bit more challenging for the environment. And the impetus for non-profits to innovate will become even greater. But there's certainly a lot of encouraging signs as we think of how businesses can continue to adapt in this type of period.
Tell us a little bit about those encouraging signs, Lenard, because the pandemic notwithstanding, it is important for a business to have corporate giving as part of their whole trajectory.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all recognize that the well-being of business and society is tightly interwoven and deeply interdependent. Fundamentally, if a company's giving is strategic, not random, it's sustainable and not ad hoc, and when it's impactful and not just scratching the surface, it can really enhance the relationship it has with its stakeholders. And this is beyond, the communities that they serve. It includes their investors, their customers, and even their employees. I think more so in recent years, what has become clearer is that investors care about the companies that they invest in. Customers care about the companies they buy from, and employees care about the companies that they work for. So these are very, very important considerations for all businesses moving forward.
And is there a shelf life at all to caring, Lenard? I mean, do you see as some of the lasting changes of this pandemic, as far as corporate giving is concerned, this sustainability, this sort of durability of people wanting to give more?
Well, the pandemic has certainly provided a lot of impetus. There's a bit of that sense of urgency, and it's something that we should not forget. There are certain things that we can see that are already on the horizon that's happening in terms of new types of partnerships, more diversified ways of giving. But I think fundamentally it's also resulted in a lot of time for introspection, for reflection, for companies to think about their own purpose. Why do they exist? Is the world a better place because their business is in it? And these are some of the key questions that we are thinking of. And at this juncture, NVPC is working closely with the SG Together Alliance for Action on Corporate Purpose to co-design and co-create a national framework and blueprint for corporate purpose. And that will really help companies on their journey of purpose. It will help them understand some key principles, certain priority areas, certain indicators that are important, but it also help them track their journey of purpose. And that's something that we can look forward to if we are looking at the launch sometime in early January. And that, something to really keep an eye out for.
Certainly, and many lessons that we can all have learned from the pandemic. Lenard, thank you very much for that. That was Lenard Pattiselanno sharing his insights on the latest national level study on corporate giving.